The average prisoner tries to survive prison, while I'm trying to optimize it. Today, I'm Prisonmaxxing, which includes important subcategories like pain-maxing and substance-maxing, because in the Outlast trials, escaping is the ultimate goal, and honestly, what screams prison more than desperately trying to escape. So, the plan is simple. Survive the therapies, optimize the suffering, and become the most beloved prisoner Murkov has ever created. A model inmate, a shining example of human experimentation, until I finally escape, or at least die trying, which Murkov would probably consider a success. Apart from direct character customization, that being cosmetics, the shops around the sleeping room are actually an extension of your character. Also, take a good look at these faces, they're the only normal ones you're gonna see. Starting with the pharmacy, which has 3 different tiers of perks that are permanent to your characters, such as sliding, better regeneration, better stamina regeneration, more health, more stamina, running through doors, helping teammates up faster, and even psychosis resistance. All just passive effects to make your gameplay smoother and easier for when things get really tough. Next up is honestly just some random lady in the cafeteria. She gives more perks, but these perks are far stronger. They're called amps. Amps come in 3 categories: tools, skills, and medicine. You get to choose 1 out of 9, which you unlock over the course of leveling up to, I believe, level 45. Doing things such as outright making you produce less noise, which in a stealth game is beyond overpowered. And last but not least, bingo fuel. This is where we get our rigs, or more common terminology would just be our active ability. We have a wide selection here, such as stuns, blinds, heals, x-ray vision, barricades, and jammers, all with their own independent upgrades, making them vastly stronger. From the jammer simply disarming traps to making them yours. And arguably my favorite part about this area, these little TVs. If you don't know what a rig does, or kinda confused at what it might do, just look at one of these TVs and you'll see a Fallout-esque tutorial on what they do. And for our final stop in the sleeping room, the terminal. This is where we're actually able to accept our missions, or in this game they're called therapies. But first, let me turn off nudity so I'm actually able to play the... Wait a second. Wait, hold on. In the sleeping room, there are actually quite a few games, such as arm wrestling, chess, pong. Ping pong? No. Yeah, it's Pong. It's Pong. Came out in 1972. I was not alive, but that's here too. Now I've lost to a literal dog, let me turn off this nudity setting so I can maybe attempt to get this video monetized and continue the game. We're starting on standard difficulty, no crazy modifiers, just feeling out what this prison is actually like. Before we actually get to the location, we get some small briefing and of course, a very high dose of sleeping gas mixed with something else that drugs us, gives us hallucinations, and knocks us out. As much as you might think we've already escaped, I can assure you this is very much still our prison. However, we are at a theme park, so let's at least try to enjoy some carnival games while we're here. One of the first very important things to note is that traps in this game are extremely obvious. They're placed there to be obvious, they're loud to be obvious, they're bright to be obvious. And generally, you won't actually get hit by them. The only time you will is when you panic or when you rush. Our source of light is night vision goggles that we have strapped to our head. And by strapped, I mean implanted. This of course can be recharged as long as we find power cells around the map or on our other fallen comrades. Generally, at the start of every trial, we're taught a unique mechanic specific for that trial itself. This one is using these hearts, yes, I did say hearts, to hit these targets to progress. We're gonna need 3 separate tickets from different carnival games. Lucky for us, just like every carnival, there's about 20 repeat games, so all we need are the hearts and we can get everything done. Unlucky for us, things are never that simple. We're not here alone, and that noise is actually the people monitoring us sending in some extra trouble. Patience and strategic planning is often the key, so plan routes, sneak around enemies, and don't forget, hiding is the key to survival. And no matter how much the enemies torment you, you have a mission to complete. Our next task is actually pretty simple, but before we get to that, let's take some pills, giving us an extra life just in case if we die. Okay, so all we have to do is push this cart full of dolls and maybe one flesh being into a grinder at the end of this ride. Of course, on the way, things are going to be blocked and we have to clear it up. So, let's get started. First, we need to disarm this blockade, which, in short terms, just means we need to turn off the power by following this wire and this wire. Now that the blockade is gone, we just need to push the cart. But, of course, we have more problems. Our next task is simply following a line. We need to fill the water from pump A and pump C. So, we find the origination of pump A and pump C, and then follow the line to the correct pump. Simple, right? Now we have one more simple task, dispose the actual boat, our main goal here, but not before I find a secret room. Normally this is a co-op door and requires 2 people to press both buttons simultaneously, but since I'm playing solo, I just have to find both buttons, press one, and then press the other. This room contains all the items you would ever need. Health, stamina, health boosters, stamina boosters, battery chargers, battery boosters, really everything. Upgrades and all. Anyway, back to the main task at hand. Now that that's done, all we have to do is leave. And there it is, our first therapy done with an A+, 32 minutes, and 0 deaths. Pretty good for standard difficulty, but let's crank it up a notch. Difficulty in this game scales quite harshly, which you'll see in the last 2 difficulties. However, what actually changes is quite simple. More enemies, more traps, less items, and less hiding places. And since I want to make this game a little bit harder since I've played this game for 30 odd some hours, I'm going to use a different rig when I get to the final difficulty. So before we get there, let's get a little practice run, so at least I understand what it does. To be honest, I couldn't think of a better tool to use than a mine made of shrapnel shards, broken toothbrush bits, and cigarette smoke formerly contained by some sort of baggie. We're Prisonmaxxing, so let's at least enjoy it while we're here. Our next therapy is like the high school prison equivalent of a field trip. We get to go to the mall, we get to go shopping, and we get to see Mall Santa. Of course, with a few extra caveats that we'll see on the way. Our first goal is to make it to the center of the mall. This requires us to take power from the surrounding shops, ripping out fuses from their fuse boxes, and putting it in the corresponding box that'll open the gate, allowing us to actually go to the center. Great job, champ. You made it into the main plaza. Now we need to make it into the department store by getting even more fuses. Good luck. Now it's time for your favorite part of the mall experience. Shopping. We need to reach $40 total to get a ticket. Of course, while we're trying to get this total up, Mall Santa is going to be overseeing us just to make sure we're not doing anything bad. You may be asking what's bad, and quite honestly, it's a long list, but the most important one is breathing. So as long as you're not breathing, you're not doing anything bad. Happy shopping. Oh yeah, and remember, they keep the good stuff in the back. So if you can make it back there and bring the boxes up front, you can probably get it done a little bit faster. Of course, initially I didn't think of this, so I took a whole bunch of the small boxes and stacked them up on one side, ready to make a dash back and forth to complete it quickly. Yeah, the quantity would be high, but so would the efficiency. Well, I guess not really efficiency, but the speed? Yeah, the speed. Because it turns out bringing boxes from the back to the front requires another fuel cell. Not to mention that the small boxes are worth around $1, meaning that we'd need around 40. And I'm pretty sure there aren't 40 boxes up front. Eventually, I did go get that fuse, and lucky for me, the first store I walked to was powered. Now all I had to do was get back to the department store, walk into the back, put the fuel cell in, and walk 3 to 4 boxes up to the front, and we'd be done. Of course, it didn't go that easy. Our last task is to pump acid into some super soakers, and sadly, the only way to activate them is through the means of math. This is where you'll start to see my only actual problem with this game, camping. And trust me, it only gets worse and harder difficulties. Enemies seem to stick around whatever objective you have, and they're very much not shy to teleport from one side of the map to the other with no regard for fairness. They're kind of like weeping angels in a way. If you take your eyes off of them, they're more than likely going to be somewhere you need to be. again, not too bad. B-, 48 minutes, only 3 minutes above the average time, and 1 death. All around, not bad, especially for solo player. But there's still one difficulty higher than this. And of course, we're not doing it in a standard therapy. We're doing the special therapy, just to make it all the more grueling. I'm talking an extra annoying enemy that can see in the dark, even more enemies on top of that, extra barricaded, trapped, and blocked doors, even fewer items, more rig cooldown, less inventory size, and 0 intel, which I assume means we won't get any UI hints of where things are. You're probably asking, why would you go through so much pain just to complete something on the hardest difficulty? Because why not? Also, can you really call it Prisonmaxxing if you haven't maxed out the prison? Let me tell you something. This is where boys turn into men. And I really was not ready for the torture I'd be putting myself through. Starting with, well, you know what? Let me just show you. Great start, right? Not even 2 minutes in, haven't even gotten to the main building, and we've already died once. This is where the camping starts and the fun ends. From here on, I'm basically going to be getting permanently chased, running in circles, trying to get objectives done in very small, probably 3 to 12 second intervals. I hope you enjoy the hell I had to go through. Task 1 was simple. Bring our special white substance to the drop-off point. Now I truly can't state how annoying this is, and I probably can barely represent it in the video. However, every single time you're doing anything in this game at this difficulty, there will be an enemy in your way. You'll never know how or when they got there, but I assure you, they're there. I actually started to get annoyed, and I adopted the idea that if the enemies really want to hit me, they are going to, only backed by her missing when I'm completely vulnerable. Our next task is to push this cart so we can actually get some more supply. This is where I learned something very crucial. You can run forever when you have absolutely nothing in your hand, but if you have anything that would be considered an objective, namely something that doesn't fit in your inventory, then your stamina is very limited. This is where the circles begin. Get found, run in a circle, push the cart, get found, run in a circle, push the cart. Rinse and repeat until you get to the next area. Let me make the rest of this therapy simple to understand. Find the flower, poison the flower, hide the flower, and leave. Now that the struggle to resupply is over, now we have to push the same cart all the way back to the original position. Just to speed stuff up, we got the rest of the supply, we grabbed some poison, dumped the poison, mixed everything together, and then we slowly started prepping for the end of the therapy. Disarming traps, leaving extra supply so we wouldn't have to go back to the main room, and then we got to it. And finally, my best example and proof case of teleportation. Yes, I'm bad at this game, but trust me, it's not just me. Anyway, we hit all the supplies. YouTube wouldn't like me to show you how we hit it, but just know it's in a very safe place. So with our task done, let's get out of here. We got a far, far worse score and time than any of our previous runs, but to be honest, I'm just happy we actually completed it. With our hardest trial done, I can finally get out of this place. Been here for a long time, but I can assure you I have no attachment. So when I put up my public and private records back on the market, I was ready to leave. One door back into humanity. We're home. Outside. Neighbors, fresh air, the bright sun. Oh my god. Footsteps are a little odd. A whole bathroom to ourselves. I mean, I can finally leave. I can... A phone call? Holy hell. Thank you guys for watching this far. If you're here, I mean, you're listening to it. If you're here, you've watched this far. Thank you. I did this very quickly. I also switched the style of how I actually did this video, like the way I edited it, the way I did the script. Like there is 6 lines of script for this video. I just fucking freeballed the whole thing. So if you like this video, please, please, please like, comment, and subscribe. I never say that. Just please. God, please. Anyway, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay hydrated.